Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and we are back actually for, I guess you could say, a different type of video that I kind of wanted to discuss here. I'm probably planning on having a couple more topics about F124, but as of aware right now, I am going to basically talk about the reviews of the F124 beta that the beta has launched. I have actually yet to play it. I don't have an access code or anything like that. But from a couple people that I do know, and especially someone that is a friend of mine that actually did play the beta, he gave me some feedback on how the beta was, and I kind of want to discuss about that because, I guess you could say it's a good top. I guess you could say it's just a topic I wanted to talk about because obviously F124 is about basically almost a month away. It comes out May 31st, I believe, for everyone. You can get it early if you buy the Champions Edition May 28th. But I kind of want to talk about some of the feedback from the beta and a couple things that actually are very concerning. But I want to talk about some of the positives here that we could take over. So, according to some of the people, a couple media outlets, someone I know, apparently 50% brake bias could be the meta again, as it looks like it's just overall better with, I guess, a stable car, I guess, with 50% brake bias. But also with that, engine braking, I think, has made it possible to run with 50 brake bias. Obviously, F123, you really couldn't run 50% brake bias, even if you wanted to. But it looks like that could be the meta again, according from a news outlet that actually is on Twitter. He actually has played the game, so that is one thing to keep a note about. A couple other things as well. The marbles going offline. As you guys were aware, F123, if you would go offline, you know how much marbles you would get on your tires, which makes it very realistic, but then you would have no grip. Apparently that has been kind of, I guess you could say, nerfed. What it kind of makes me like a little bit upset because it adds the realism to the game, because obviously if you go offline in real life or in any race car in general, you're gonna get marbles on your tires and you're gonna slide and have no traction. But I think maybe if they just kind of reduced it a little bit, maybe it could have helped. Maybe that's what I personally think. But again, at the same time, I mean, this is just the beta after all, and again, we need to take all this with a pain of, well, basically with some salt. But and then we get to kind of, I guess, something about the career mode. So as we all aware, F124 is getting a overhaul on the career mode. They announced it in their press and their press a couple months ago when they released the announced trailer. So this is kind of a little bit disappointing, just a little bit, because I kind of wanted to see more. But apparently F124 overhaul career mode is most prominent in two aspects: a rework of the contract system and the rivalry system. Performance on track and against your teammate will determine both of these systems. No, I'm not saying that is bad. That's good, but those are really the only two changes that they made. It was just the contracts and the rivalry system on how you are, which I guess doesn't really make sense. But well, I mean, it kind of makes sense. But maybe I expected like a little bit more from EA and Codemasters. You know what I mean? Like, I expected a lot more, and I think it's just there's an issue with the F1 games. It's because, as we know, there's two teams. We have the team that does the story mode, and then we have the team that focuses on like everything else. So they focus basically the team. They made F122, I believe, and I don't think they made 2020. I think they made 22, but they made F122, and we'll get into the handling in just a minute. But you guys remember how bad like that game was? There was basically no new content. The only thing that team really focused on was F1 Life and Supercars, and that was it. And it looks like they really didn't do much to this career mode thing, and it's just, I feel like it just shows this team that it's lazy. Like they're lazy to put an effort into a game that we all enjoy and love. And again, especially a game since we've all been playing, like I've been playing the F1 games since about 2017, I believe. 2017, I think. So it's kind of upsetting by the way that they did this, and because career mode hasn't really had a major overhaul, I think since like 2018, 29. It's been a minute since they last had an overhaul. Obviously, I think the biggest change to career mode was when my team came out in 2020, but it's still very kind of just disappointing. I'm still a little bit upset by that. Again, this is just, again, these are, I don't know if this is confirmed. This is just leaks, but it's kind of, it looks like this could be the info right here. And the crash model, well, the crash model is kind of not looking so great right now, as there's a clip going around of a basically the car flying into the air after getting hit. So it looks like some F1 2015 flashbacks there. So yeah, there's that. Also, some news for the league racers. If you guys are in league racing now, I'm a league racer. I'll talk about that. You'll definitely see a video about that in a couple of weeks. But for some F1 24 league racing news, let's get to another positive here. The anti-cheat looks like has been enabled, and apparently drivers that were using cheats, and basically any sort of league, they can be banned. So PSGL confirms that the permanent bans will stay permanent bans, and that's a good sign. But again, you could, if you kind of get all your resources correct, if you guys own leagues, if you guys run a league, if you guys are in a league and you guys know a cheater, you guys can permanently ban them from the league if you find proof that there is cheating. Now let's get into some of the bad news, and it's mainly about the handling model. Obviously, we all like a good handling model, right? Well, it looks like the handling model is not so great right now. As a couple things here. Let's talk about one thing. DRS has been nerfed, according to a developer. It's apparently way weaker than it was before, so it looks like some F1 22, I guess you could say the DRS was very weak in F1 22. You'd have to dump overtake in order to really overtake a car. It looks like that is coming back. The ERS has been changed. It looks like it just goes off instantly, so after one lap you basically have no ERS. The car feels, this one is the shocking part, and probably the worst experience for every race car driver in the world. The car feels understeer yet oversteer at the same time. Yeah, you heard that right. Oversteer and understeer. Do you not understand what, like, that is by far the worst way to have a handling car in any sort of thing. This is like the Ferrari from F1 from 2014 when it was oversteering, understeering. It looks like this is an issue right now. Now, it's it's not a great look, because you know you think that they would like change it, but it's like, damn, like I thought like F1 22 handling model was bad. Nah, this is worse, man. The new HUD, there's a new HUD, by the way. I guess it's not getting a lot of good reviews. It's very smaller than it was before, and it's just all over the place. Another thing is, it looks like the grip, the traction, actually, you could still, it's not like the same thing as F1 22 where you barely had any traction. You have traction, but the grip is just very inconsistent. Some places you have a load, some not. But it looks like one thing is that the biggest problem, according to the beta, is that the steering, it's just terrible. Like, the steering is so sensitive. It's like, if you guys have ever played the F1 games on keyboard, that's what it feels like when you're on the wheel. You barely have to turn the wheel, and then the wheel goes full, like, 360 on you, like a full, you know what I'm talking about, Monaco hairpin. It's kind of like the same thing in F1 22 is being compared to as F1 22, where it was very unplayable with steering and everything, but this is a horrible. It feels so stiff. Some corners you could take it perfectly, but then there's some where you either get wide to the inside, or the moment you start steering it's incredibly stiff. But once you slow it down, it becomes a go-kart and turns instantly. F1 23 was perfect. There is no need to change F1 drivers helping with F1 23. I believe F1 24 was helped by content creators, not even esports drivers. That is a big, big problem. It's not looking too great right now. And again, I'm going to say this again. We all need to take this as a pinch of salt, because again, this is just a beta. It's not the full game. It's just a beta after all, but still, it's very, very, very concerning. The F124 tire model, obviously they are focusing on the tires more with basically all that. Tire model seems to be worse than expected. Its ease of oversteer seems to be from the rear tires lacking contact with the ground, which also explains the reduced rear tire wear compared to the front tires. AI also seemed to suffer from this. Texas Turn 1 is a great example. And also the AI have been, I guess the AI are once again very overpowered in this game. So obviously the glitch in F122 was the AI were super fast in the straight line. If you guys go back to like some of my old videos, dude, like it was so unplayable with the AI, and it's not looking great. And the F122 AI, they had no mercy. They would turn into you, they would just crash into you, they would do anything. And again, it's just, this team is kind of a joke. And yeah, and it seems like the tire wear is really bad, considering there is also a screenshot of a guy playing with doing a 35% race around Bahrain, and he did 6 laps in, and his front tire is at 66% on the front left, and everywhere else it's around 25 to 35%. So it's not looking great so far. And speaking of track changes, no track changes to Bahrain, COTA, or Brazil. No track changes to Brazil yet. Bahrain, I guess Bahrain maybe needs a little bit of an update. COTA kind of had an update back in 2022, so I guess I could see why they didn't really work on that. But Brazil I think Brazil needs an update. I really hope we get an updated Spa, because that is needed. We need a really updated Spa. It's just very bad how Spa has not been changed since F1 2015. So it needs to get fixed. So yeah, that's kind of what I came on here to talk about. I guess you could say this is the F124 type topic. This has me very, very, very concerned for this game when it comes out, because you know I was very excited for this game, because again, a new career mode for like someone who, like me, I like to play career mode. I've always loved playing career mode, and it's just not looking great by the way that it's being run. And it's kind of just upsetting that, you know, this game isn't even playable, and yet it's so undrivable compared to what a lot of people are saying. And this is just not a good look. It's not a good look if you're like a fan of these games. It's horrible. It's just horrible. And I think it just shows that this team is just super lazy, and it's just it's not right. You know, these people pay $90 for a video game that we all love and enjoy, the ZF1 game, and we take this game. You know, some people take this game seriously, some people don't. Obviously, if you're league racing, you do take this game a little bit seriously, because you're racing, and some people are trying to make a career out of this. You know what I mean? You got esports guys and everything else like that. They're making a career out of them, and then you release this game, and you make it so undrivable. Like, it's just a joke, and it's kind of just embarrassing. Ever since EA took over these F1 games, I feel like they have kind of, I guess you could say they've kind of ruined it. You know what I mean? Like, even, I'm not saying anything like Codemasters, they weren't really that great, but they cut off so many things. They cut off classic cars, they cut off the short tracks, you know, every time they say they're going to release DLC tracks, the only tracks that they bring back are Paul Ricard, Portugal, and that's it. Obviously, China was obviously coming back. Obviously, China's going to be back on the calendar this year, so that's coming back. Which I was always cool with China staying on like the F1 games, because I love China. It's a great track, but it's just embarrassing, and it just makes me upset. So I know no one really wants to hear this, but I don't want this game coming out right now if there is an issue like this, because it's just a horrible look. So yeah, but thank you all for watching this video. Kind of want to come on here and talk about this topic real quick. I guess you could say a very serious topic, but just want to let everybody know, not very pleased, and I'm a little bit concerned for the F1 games when they come out. But appreciate everyone. Stay safe out there. Be safe, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye, everybody.